Back here on The Herd, a special guest joining us. First timer on the show.
Yeah.
She covers the Rockets. This is kind of Rockets week on The Herd. We had Ryan Hollins on, and now Vanessa Richardson covers the Houston Rockets, knows them as well as anybody. And listen, Lakers fans know we're playing Houston in the second round. We're already past the Clippers or the Warriors. This Lakers-Rockets series should be big, but we'll start with Houston, which has been, Vanessa, one of the better stories around the league this season.
It has, and I think if you ask the guys, they're not surprised that they're having this level of success. But it has been, I think, a wake-up call for the league that this young team is clicking the way that they're clicking, that the veterans have made the impact that they've made, and that Ime Udoka is doing something similar to what he did in Boston. He's turning things around very quickly. It's been really exciting.
Yeah, Udoka's been amazing. Were you at the game where he got into it with Curry a little bit?
I was
walking
there.
off. So were you close enough to hear what was being said? What can you reveal? Because
I cannot confirm or deny if I heard him get into it with Steph or LeBron James last year.
And LeBron last year, that's
that was a thing too. But no, I mean, that's the identity of this Houston team, right? Like, they're not afraid of anybody. They're not afraid, of any specific player, of any superstar. And the funny thing about Ime is he won't even call people like these superstars by their nicknames. Like, he calls them by their last name when I interview him. So it's not LeBron, it's James, and it's not Giannis, it's Antetokounmpo. So I think that no friends on the floor thing is a real thing for the Rockets. And
no friends on the floor.
No friends on the floor.
That's his mantra.
Yep.
That's good. Now listen.
And as you can see.
Yeah. Now listen, I know obviously you cover the team, you're close with this Dillon Brooks stuff. He doesn't seem to like anyone, and I get it. He's kind of, the tough guy enforcer, he's a great defender.
Right.
But do you think sometimes that can go too far and he gets in his own head getting in these one-on-one battles with some players?
I don't think it goes too far at all. I think it's a motivator for the team. And he's been the defensive head of the snake as far as influencing also Tari Eason and Amin Thompson. And this Rockets team is known for their defense. And I think that's what makes it fun, right? Like, they're old school. Everybody, when they complain about the NBA, they say that the NBA, people just chuck up threes and they play offense and no defense. And they're playing AAU ball. Like, the Rockets are the opposite of that. And Dillon Brooks is a huge part of that. And so I love what Dillon has done. And I'm going to shock everybody when I say this. He's like a total sweetheart off the court. He's actually a really nice guy. The villain thing truly is an on-court persona. He's told me that. He said it on camera in interviews. So he's a great guy, but that's an important part of the identity of this Rockets team is Dillon Brooks.
Interesting, because Amin Thompson is a phenomenal defender. I don't know, do they have too many good players in that? Like, in crunch time, you need your 5 core guys. The Lakers don't have 8 great guys like the Rockets have a much deeper team. How do they decide is it matchup reliant? Like, what do you think they do down the stretch? Because some of these guys may not end up playing. Sengun is great, but is he going to be on the court all the time against, say, the Lakers?
It's definitely matchup reliant, and it's also sometimes who's playing the hardest. Like, Ime will say that he's going to make sure that the guys that are playing the hardest are playing at the end of the game. So I think that it's a strength that they're so deep. I don't mind the fact that their team motto, let me tell you what their team motto has been this year. Sometimes you, sometimes me, always us. And they're okay with that. There are not a lot of NBA players that would be okay with a night where they only score 7 or 8 points, but their teammate absolutely goes off. I think the fact that they're selfless and the fact that on any given night it can be a different guy, I don't see that as a disadvantage. I think it could be an advantage in the playoffs.
So if you look at the West at large, there are some of those teams where, like, Ja Morant doesn't get he's going to be upset.
Right.
I am just curious, do you think the Rockets' storyline has been underplayed because of the Nuggets fired their coach, the Grizzlies fired their coach, the Luka trade? They're almost flying under the radar. Is that possible for a team with, 50-some-odd wins? They
are flying under the radar, but they like that. They're fine with not getting a ton of press, not getting a ton of attention. And who's been a big part of that has been Fred VanVleet. Fred has told the guys, you don't want all the TV appearances, all the articles, all the press releases. Like, we're fine flying underneath the radar and then surprising people. And I think that's what they've done. So it's not a team, and this isn't a knock on like other teams or other superstars, but this is not a team that needs all the attention, wants all of the accolades. Like, they're fine surprising people. And I think that that's what they've done. They're not surprised with their success, but they're fine with the fact that they are flying underneath the radar.
So most teams have a clear leader, if you will.
Right.
We saw Jokic drawing up plays in the huddle after they fire Malone.
Yeah.
Luka, LeBron, obviously. I look at this Houston team. Is Van Vliet the leader? Because I've had some hot takes on him. I like him. I said I would prefer him to like Kyrie Irving because Kyrie's about Kyrie. Fred Van Vliet, great
It's
defender.
about the team.
Yeah,
Fred's
he's about the team.
Yeah.
But would you say he's the leader? Like in the huddle,
Fred's an extension of the coaching staff. So I would definitely call Fred the leader and one of the leaders of the team. But they did a really good job of bringing in veterans. Dillon Brooks is a leader. Dillon Brooks leads by example. And you're smiling.
I know.
But he is absolutely a leader. A lot of people, like Jeff Green has been a huge influence.
Uncle Jeff Green, yeah.
Uncle Jeff has been huge for, Tari, Jabari, some of the younger guys. So I would definitely call Fred the leader, and he calms things down too. And so he's been, his leadership, the role that the veterans have played for the young guys. And the other part of it, though, is that the young guys have been receptive to it. And not all young guys are receptive to that veteran leadership. But this team has been really open-minded and accepting the coaching style of Ime and buying in, which has been huge.
It's interesting. Steve, you didn't mention Steven Adams.
I love Steven.
So there was a funny video you posted on your Instagram of Steven Adams grabbing some kind of sign.
Yeah, so the Clippers have the fan wall at Intuit Dome. Very high school, college student section type concept, but they had a sign of Dillon and one of Dillon's outfits actually that he wore when he and Steven were both in Memphis, a reference to the player haters ball. Shout out to the Chappelle show.
Yes.
And so he had that sign and yeah, Steven just took it and rolled out with it. That's Steven.
This is an interesting team because in Texas, you've had obviously, Luka and the Mavs have been very good. You've had the San Antonio Spurs have had their runs. Houston seems like they're the best team in Texas right now, and I don't know that it's close. A lot of people thought Wembanyama and the Spurs, they would make the leap. They got De'Aaron Fox. It didn't quite work out. Wemby, obviously, with the blood clots. Do you think there's any pressure at Houston, or is there the whole, they're playing with house money, they're fine?
I think that they have very high standards for themselves, and I do think they're the best team in Texas, and it's not close. I think things eventually could click for Wemby, in San Antonio, and I do feel awful for Mavericks fans, but at the same time, Rockets are in their division, so I don't hate what's going on there. I think the Rockets are the best team in Texas, and it's not close. And the thing is, they're only getting better, right? Like the young core is only clicking more. Amen Thompson is only becoming a better defender, and here the Rockets are the number 2 seed. So it's been incredible to see, and I do think they're the best team.
Is it weird / annoying when you're covering the team, you're 50 wins, and then you see maybe this show, maybe others, hey, Kevin Durant can save the Rockets next year. You're like, wait a minute, can we at least see them in the playoffs first? Because there is this idea that they don't have like an alpha in the half court.
Right.
But like covering the team, being around them, they're not even thinking about that stuff, right?
No, they're so young. They all believe in themselves, and they all believe in each other. And I've been in NFL locker rooms, MLB locker rooms, as have you, anybody in this industry has. The chemistry and synergy that this team has, and the fact that, again, they're selfless. They're okay if they only score 5-10 points if their teammate goes off, and that's not common in the NBA. So this team has a lot of belief in themselves and in each other, and they do really love each other.
Last one on the Rockets. So Şengün is sometimes, I don't think it's fair, but compared to Jokic, because he's a little smaller and very skilled. I don't know. Is that putting too much pressure on the young guy? What is he, like 22 years old?
Yeah, he's in his 4th year. I think it's a very flattering comparison, but what I like about Şengün is, that's the typical idol becomes rival. When they play each other, it's been a great matchup every time. I love what we've seen from Şengün. And so, the corny and cliche thing would be, I don't want him to be the next like Jokic. I want him to be the first Alperen Şengün. But that is somebody that Alperen has looked up to, and he's been very open about that. So anytime these guys get compared to their idols, and then they start playing them and they're defending them well, it's very similar like Amen Thompson and LeBron James. Like LeBron James was Amen's idol growing up, and Amen held Steph Curry to 3 points on Sunday. Yeah. So it is cool to watch the young guys play their idols and not get intimidated by them.
On the gambling front, the Rockets are not even a top 5 get to the NBA Finals in the West, right? Would you be shocked if the Rockets made the NBA Finals?
I would not be shocked at all. They have beat the best teams in the league with authority, repeatedly. They're winning in different ways. So they're playing in those games where they have to win down the stretch. They're playing in blowouts. They're playing in games where they have to come from behind. I think there's a lot of value in that. So I wouldn't be shocked. I think the rest of the league might be, but I would not be surprised.
And the interesting thing is they actually match up pretty well with the Lakers.
For sure.
With Thompson and Brooks for Luka and LeBron. And Şengün would be a problem. Lakers fans now are like, J-Max, just settle down, we're fine. Rockets have to prove. Van Vliet does have a title in Toronto.
Yeah.
Took down the Warriors.
So does Jeff Green.
Jeff
Shout
Green,
out to Jeff
yes,
Green.
I keep forgetting him. Yeah.
I know.
Stole him from.
You got to give the respect to Uncle Jeff.
Denver could probably use him right now, right?
Right.
By the way, were you surprised at the Malone firing? Where
Yeah,
were you
the
when
way-
you heard that?
The way that the league is now, I'm not surprised. But yeah, the fact that he won a championship 2 years ago. I was just like with Taylor Jenkins, not that he won a championship, but it's just so close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised when somebody gets fired now, but the timing is definitely interesting.
All right, Vanessa Richardson covering the Rockets. You host a weekly show, Rockets All Access. Could be a long postseason for you. No early Cancun for you this summer.
But I wouldn't have it any other way. It's going to be exciting. Don't sleep on the Rockets.
Great stuff. Coming up next, is Ja Morant trying to get himself shipped out of Memphis? What the hell is with this new grenade celebration?